Okay. All right. So we don't have anybody in the room with me right now, and I do like to record these if participants are agreeable, and that way I can, if needed, post them on Zoom, and you can access them on Zoom if you subscribe. So I do have a Zoom channel. Oftentimes I don't really publicly post it because I use it as a platform, and it's a way for me to quickly add links so that group members and subscribers within the group can get video links quickly. But I can also, with this, post it on YouTube, and if you subscribe, and it's on the public channel open, you'll be able to be notified when I post it. I know a lot of people who are coming to this class and who've asked me questions between last week and now are in the UK or somewhere in the world where it is sleeping time. And so I do hope you're not getting up in the middle of the night to attend these. Like I said, the best optimal time is in the morning, noon, and at sunset. And right now I'm in the West Coast in the United States, and so it is noontime for this side of the planet. Okay, I'm just going to address a couple questions first. I'm going to pay attention to the time. Last week was our opening, so I went longer. I tend to talk a little bit longer because it is a class. I am trying to give you the whole understanding, the whole comprehension of the practice we're doing. It's not just coming in and turning on the timer and saying, all right, begin, breathe in, breathe out, and inhale, stop. It's really about, for you building a daily practice, it's about you understanding what it is you're doing. That gives you more buy-in, that gives you more of an awareness, because this is the yoga of awareness. Kundalini yoga is the umbrella of awareness, and that's ultimately, bottom line, what we're doing in the practice is bringing the mind, the body into this awareness of these subtle energies that are happening, all of the power and control we actually have over our lives when we feel like everything is out of control. When we bring it into this subtle awareness and understanding, then we really do understand how much control we have over the choices that we make in our lives. And we can make better choices so that we have that happy, we have that healthy, we have that whole abundant life that we do want, filled with joy, not filled with the anxiety, with the despair, with the resentment that we tend to find ourselves in when we don't have that awareness, when we're not really consciously bringing our frequency into that awareness. So some questions came in. One, what kind of dog is Mason? If you were watching last week, or if you've watched the first video, Mason is my dog, and he sometimes likes to join me on the mat, even if it's not something I am into in the moment. He is quite big. He's a medium-sized dog. He's a lab shepherd mix, and he has this nice, beautiful black sheen and a white neck here. And he's been with us for 9 years. He loves the whole yoga process. And then importantly for today, this was a great question. So on the actual meditation that we're practicing, so the 3 practices we're doing, well, actually we can call it 4. We're doing the tune-in, and I'll talk a little bit about that. And I sent you a separate video about the tune-in. The yogic meditation practice is the forward bend, or what we call the life nerve stretch. I do it in a forward bend. It was better for my back. You can also do it on the floor, parallel to the floor. So the forward bend, very important. The breathing, left and right nostril breathing, we call it the alternate nostril breathing, and the Sat Kriya, which is the actual meditation. So the question is, when do you breathe on the Sat Kriya? Are you breathing specifically through the nose? The answer is no on this one. And interestingly, this is one of the Kriyas where we're not paying attention to breath. The body is, in a sense, breathing itself. That's the whole idea. So, and that's not the case in and that's not the case in most of meditations and most of the postures. You specifically are channeling the prana. In this particular Kriya, Sat Kriya, everything is from the navel. So we're pumping the navel, and we're pumping the energy from the lower, we call it the lower triangle, the rectum, sex organ, and navel. And that's where energy gets really concentrated and it gets blocked. And when that energy is blocked, our whole body is geared toward survival. It is that survival mechanism. So all the energy floods there from a whole DNA, from a whole evolutionary point of view. It gets blocked there because we have needed it in the past of our whole entire development to fight or flee very quickly, very strong, very powerfully. We still have that mechanism, and we still have this sense that we are in danger. And we have that fear factor. And that's how the anxiety builds. That's how, the overwhelm, the anxiety, the fear. It can move into this very powerful feeling of resentment, very intense, and then that indicator to fight. And when we don't have that particular situation at hand in our everyday lives, that energy gets stuck right there. And we are automatically in fear, we're automatically in anxiety, overwhelm, resentment, and intense anger. So this pumping of the navel is releasing those blocks, and it's moving that very, very powerful energy. It is in this lower triangle, which is where our whole entire reproductive organs are. That's the power of creation within our body. So that intense energy, which is either going to fight or flee, is powerfully creative. So we move it up, right? The pumping of the navel moves it up. The breath is really not involved in this. It's mostly the navel. So the body is going to respirate itself. The lungs are going to operate. The breath is going to slightly come in through the nose, but we're not going to focus on it because it's not an upper body movement. We're moving the energy up and we're channeling it. That's why we raise the arms like this, because the body is respirating. We're balancing the energy at the heart. We're moving and flowing that very, very intense energy, the most powerful energy we have. We're allowing it to move throughout this entire organism and just not be centered and blocked below the navel point. So the body will breathe. And once you start focusing your concentration at the navel, and you're not up here, in this nose area, you go, where am I breathing through the nose? Am I breathing through the mouth? The breath will naturally come in. Okay, so that was an outstanding question. We're going to go ahead and tune in. I hope you were able to get the video that I sent about the tune-in process. And because it's always this whole, when we're online like this, it's this whole big play around microphones. And one of my music colleagues said, microphones are never, you're just trying to replicate what is happening in the ear experience. And so microphones never, ever really do it. They're always, trying to fine tune the technology. So I've done recordings throughout the last 2 years where I'm just using my phone microphone, and it was great. So the one that you see, the one that I've sent to you with the tune-in, was with my phone. It was probably a little bit lower volume, but there wasn't that distortion factor. Now the microphone I use right now is great when I'm teaching a class. It's a lapel mic, it's a wireless mic, but there is some sort of distortion when the chanting sound comes out. It picks up whatever it wants, and it's not really what I'm trying to do. So today I'm going to just tune in with the breath. And I want you to have, I'll tune in with the breath, but I will probably chant, I will chant the mantra. The mantra is Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om, it's all of creation. So we're building in all of creation within the body. We're really connecting with all of creation, which is that energy outside of us, which is equally inside of us. We're connecting with what's called that golden chain. And it's almost just like taking, a plug. I have my charger, and I'm going to plug it into the wall, and it's plugged into me. That's exactly what this whole tune-in process is doing. You're plugging into that energy source, and there's that connection of you, the Guru Dev, the wise teacher. It's the wise teacher within yourself. We are ultimately masters of our whole domain. We know everything. The doors just have to be opened, and the little boxes in the brain, the little switches have to be flipped on, and the connections have to be made. And so that's what my role is as a teacher. I'm not teaching you anything that you don't already have fully encompassed. I'm just flipping on switches and saying, hey, and then the connections for you are forming in your own life. If you are in alignment, if it's the time and the place for you to go, I get it, that makes complete sense. If it's not, it's fine. It'll be another time and another place and possibly another teacher. But here we are right now. And so that's what the tune-in process, Om Namo, that within myself connecting out. Guru Dev, the wise teacher within me. Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. So I'm bringing that which was in myself, connecting to that which is outside of me, the Om, the great Om energy outside. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, please ask questions. This is my role, is to break it down and to make it palatable, make it connecting, make it useful in your life. All right, so we're going to do it without that loud chant because I don't want the sound distortion, but you have the video that I've sent you. You can do that at home. Rub the palms together. Immediately this begins balancing the right and left hemispheres of the brains, the subtle channels that are in the fingers. They go to the spine. They go all throughout the limbs, ending at the toes, ending at the navel point. That's why the navel point is so powerful. Feeling that heat. And now press together. We say 3 to 5 pounds of pressure because you're trying to put that pressure on the gland. We put the pressure on the gland and we release. That's when growth happens. That's when release of blocks happen. Close the eyes. Eyelids are closed. Eyeballs roll up to the brow point between the eyebrows, pituitary gland. Spine is long and tall. Shoulders are relaxed down the spine. Shoulder blades gliding down the spine. Heart is lifting, so you're lifting the rib cage. The chin is slightly tucked in. Resist that temptation to open to the throat. We always somehow have this temptation to lift the chin when we're in this position, but you want to keep the chin parallel to the floor and just slightly tucked in. Now inhale deeply through the nose. And as you do that, the navel point, that point just below the belly button, expands because the diaphragm is pulling the breath deeper into the lungs. And now exhale. Consciously glide the navel back to the spine, letting all the breath out. And again, inhale the sound of Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. And exhale. Let the sound reverberate throughout your whole being, navel gliding back to the spine. And one more time, nice deep inhale. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. And exhaling, letting the navel glide back to the spine. Beautiful. Take a nice long inhale through the nose. And exhale. And just release the hands, bring them into Gyan Mudra, resting on the knees. That's the index finger pressed into the pad of the thumb. Pad of the index finger pressing into the pad of the thumb. Palms are up, back of the hand just resting on the knees, heart is lifted. Face is relaxed. Again, eyelids are closed, but the eye gaze is at the third eye, the brow point. And inhale. And exhale. Just bringing your awareness to that energy shift. And then just gently flutter your eyes open when you're ready. Okay. All right. Now let's shake the legs out. And then just rock them side to side. It releases tension in the hips. Sometimes tension builds up when we sit in easy posture. Release the tension in the knees and then rotate ankles. Okay, so we're going to start out with the forward bend. And as I was saying, a few weeks ago, I had my back cinched up, and so it doesn't feel as good for me to do it in this posture. But the legs will be straight. The knees will be tight. You want to really tighten the thighs. So feel that tightening here. The feet are flexed. You see my feet are flexed. This is the key. So no matter how far we go over, it's coming from the hips. No matter how far we go over, it doesn't matter that we touch the toes. Legs are straight, feet are flexed. So we may feel like, I can't reach my feet. Just reach here, or maybe you can reach the ankle. And see, as I move forward, my back stays straight and I'm bending from the hip. Now, we don't want to do this. We don't want the head to tuck. I'm going to pull the chin in slightly. So you want to keep that nice alignment from the tailbone to the top of the head. You want to, if you can, now if you're able to touch the toes, you want to take the finger lock, index and the middle finger, and you wrap them around the fleshy part of the toes, press the thumbs into the toenails. We're activating the life nerve is actually what we're doing. Again, I mentioned this is really essential for women to do this every 4 hours because it recharges the whole nervous system. And if we do it in the morning, sometime at noon, after lunch, when we get home in the evening and we're ready to do what we need to do at home, it recharges us every step of the way, because you'll notice we have a drag time just before noontime. We feel kind of exhausted, or we might be feeling overwhelmed, or it might happen in the afternoon feeling exhausted or overwhelmed. And then we still have the rest of our evening, we still have things that we need to do. And this gives that recharge. I'm going to do it standing up. So if you want to do it standing up, you can join me as well. So the same thing is true. You're going to bend from the hips, okay? And now you want to have the head, I don't know if my hat's probably going to fall out today. You want to have the head hanging down. Again, you don't want to have the head pushing, like it doesn't as naturally push toward the body as when we're sitting. So it's a little bit better, the head hanging down. I have my head sitting up like this, just so that sometimes I can see you. But today I'll go ahead and hang my head down. Again, if you can, push the hands and the thumbs into the fleshy part of the top of the toes, or the thumb into the toenail, the fingers around the fleshy part of the toes, activating that life nerve, which goes all the way up the spine, and it ends at the brow point. That's why the eye gaze is at the brow point. Eyelids are closed. Take a nice, long, deep inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. We're on the clock. We do this for 3 minutes. Inhaling the sound of Sat. Exhaling the sound Nam. Sat Nam is Sanskrit for truth. My identity is my truth. And in Kundalini Yoga, that's what the balance is. We're balancing and releasing energy blocks. We're balancing our nervous system. We're balancing our electromagnetic field. We're balancing the physical body through the glands. We're balancing the mental body through the nervous system, through the subconscious clearing of the mental garbage. And we get to this point of what in Sanskrit is the Sat, truth. Nam is the projection of that truth. So that when you get to that balance, that Sat, you're projecting out who you really are. Okay, we are not our anxiety. We are not our physical ailments. We are not our anger, our intensity. We are not our depression, our sadness. Those are projections of the imbalance that we have within the body, within the mind, within the spirit, within the soul. And when we balance all of those imbalances, we project out our truth, our joy, our energy, our calm, our beauty of the heart, the soul, our clarity, our focus, our creativity. And that's the Sat Nam. So inhaling the sound Sat. Exhaling the sound Nam. Hear it in the breath. This is what focuses the mind. When we're in a posture, the mind begins to wander and get distracted.
because it has the tendency to continue in an unbalanced state. We're trying to bring us back into center, into balance. So train the mind, focus it. Sat on the inhale, Nam on the exhale. Last minute. Take the breath deeper, longer on the inhale, filling up the lungs. Sustain it, hold it for just a moment, and then exhale, consciously pulling the navel back to the spine. You're moving the prana right now. We are aware of our breath in this posture. We're specifically channeling the breath to the entire body system, the entire subtle body, the entire energetic body, the entire neurological body, the nervous system. Feel the legs shake. That's releasing the toxins that get built up in the nervous system and get going into the blood. This is the way of releasing them. And take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, gently release the posture. Roll up one vertebrae at a time if you're on the floor. If you're standing like me, just come gently down to the mat. Nicely done, nicely done. Another reason why I like to do it in that way is because it's an inverted position. So the energy is coming to the brow point. This is the whole focus. This is the magic of that whole posture. So whether you're sitting on the floor, and I do many times, I like to, it's just right now, I'm just paying particular attention to my lower back. Sometimes a lower back issue, a person can't do it in the standing, and the sitting feels better. But for me, it's the standing feels better right now. I feel that stretch, that lengthening, but I'm moving the energy up to the brow point. And that's what that whole posture is really about. The side dish benefit is we're stretching the back of the legs, the hamstrings, the calves, we're stretching the whole sciatic, we're readjusting the sciatic. It's a great adjustment to that lower back area, depending on which way you do it, which is best for your body in this time. So many subtle layers to these beautiful, simple practices. And right now, see, I'm going to get my pillow, sit on my pillow. We're going to come into easy posture for alternate nostril breathing. And we're focusing, paying attention to the breath on this one because we're channeling and moving the breath. We're preparing the body for meditation. When you're in a yoga class, it doesn't matter which yoga class you're in, everything you're doing is preparing this whole body, mind, body organism so that you can have that meditative experience. You're elevating the frequencies so that you're in that meditative space and can actually meditate and not just sit there and be conscious about being still, or how are you sitting in the posture, or your mind keeps thinking about everything, or you feel uncomfortable sitting, or the floor is hard. All of those things that distract the mind, that parallels the way we are distracted in our life. Yoga, meditation is practice. It's a practice for how we approach our life. So that's another key foundation of why a daily practice is so important. It is retraining, repatterning the way you approach your life. So is the way you're approaching your life working for you right now? If not, you really want to think about adding that yoga and meditation. And I salute all of you for being here and showing up. This is great. So let's go ahead and go into the alternate nostril breathing. Left hand in Gyan Mudra, and index and thumb pressed together, resting palm up on the knee, right hand, thumb pressing in on the right nostril. Eyelids are closed, eye gaze, third eye at the brow point. Inhale, sipping the breath in through the left nostril. Fully, navel is expanding as you do this. Remember, my shoulders are not raising because I'm pulling it into the navel. Block off the left nostril with the right pinky and exhale completely through the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. As you inhale, that navel expands, the breath comes in through that diaphragm and into the lower part of the lungs. That's the magic. And block off the right nostril, exhale through the left. Navel gliding back to the spine. So your awareness is at your navel, but your eye gaze is at the third eye point. You're paying attention to how the navel draws the breath in. Inhaling through the left. Exhaling through the right. Inhaling through the right. Long, easy sip, exhaling through the left. Even sipping of the breath, even releasing. Inhaling through the left. Exhaling through the right. Keeping the spine long and tall, shoulders relaxed. Inhaling through the right. Exhaling through the left. You continue on your own. As you inhale, hear the sound Sat. And as you exhale, hear the sound Nam. Focus the mind. Focus the direction of the prana, the breath. The breath moves the prana. It moves the life force, the energy. It directs it. We're opening up the channels, balancing the left and right hemispheres of the brain, balancing your focus, your clarity, your drive, your creativity with your calm, your ease, your grace of understanding. This is to be in a state of clear, focused, calm, and creative. You're balancing the feminine and masculine energy, which is the receptive and the active, the positive and the negative charge. Like a battery, you have to have equally working powerfully together, not one overpowering the other. We're talking about charge when we say positive and negative. We're not talking about an aspect or a quality, it's the charge. You are realigning to the cellular point in your body when you're doing this type of work, this type of breath work. It's a cellular alignment, charging the cells, directing the energy. And let's take your last round of inhale. And complete your last round of exhale. Now bring the right hand down in Gyan Mudra, resting on the knee, the right knee. Eye gaze still third eye, eyelids closed. Breathing through both nostrils, nice, long, deep inhale. And complete exhale through the nostrils. And now just sit here for a moment in this energy. Let the frequency elevate. Let the adjustment happen. Sit in stillness. The body breathe itself. Let the mind align, the frequencies elevate. And take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. And just open the eyes for a moment. You can sit in with the eyes closed. You can sit and listen. You don't need to have the eyes open. So if you want to open the eyes to look at me, I'm going to move on to my knees. Last week I talked about you can put a pillow under the butt, between the heels, if that helps support any part of the body, if that helps support the heels or the hips. I used to put, and maybe I will today, depends on how sensitive. I have sensitive feet on the top of my feet. And so it hurts to have the top of my feet pressed into the wood floor, even if I have the mat. So I like to do that. I don't know that I'll need it today. It feels a little bit high and elevated. And then some people like to put something underneath the knees when we're sitting in this posture because they have a sensitivity. You release pressure if you put something here, if it's in the back of the knees. So either way is depending. Pay attention to where your body needs to be supported. That's the whole key of these postures. We support the body so the mind can focus in. If the body isn't supported, the mind is paying attention to whatever aches and pains you're feeling. And if you are feeling a pain, that's your body saying, hey, you weren't paying attention. Please get out of whatever position you're in because it hurts and it's not helping. So pay attention to those kind of indicators. This is actually excellent for strengthening the knees. And so in degrees, if either one of those positions are not comfortable, then simply come into easy posture when we're doing Sat Kriya. This is easy posture. Sitting in a chair is also excellent for easy posture because it aligns the spine perfectly. So as I said, Sat, you pull in the navel. Maybe I didn't stress that enough last week. So it's Sat, Nam, Sat, Nam, Sat, Nam. I'm going to turn the speaker down just a bit because I noticed there was a little bit of a distortion last week on the Sat. So let's see if that helps. Oh, I have it down. Okay, hopefully it's a little better today on the Sat. So it's Sat. Pull in the navel, Sat, and release it, Nam. Okay. Again, the breath just now automatically comes when you focus at the navel point, energy at the navel point, eye gaze, third eye, but awareness at the navel. All right. Fingers. This is the hand mudra. Interlace the fingers like this, and then for the feminine energy, you're going to cross the left thumb over the right, and the right pinky will be on the bottom. For the masculine energy, the way you interlace the fingers is the opposite. So the left pinky is on the bottom and the right thumb is on the top. So whatever you're channeling, doesn't matter what body you're in, but the energy you're channeling, what you primarily channel in your whole life. Not just, oh, hey, today I want to channel masculine energy, but what's the energy you channel in your whole life? If you're not quite sure, then just pick one, just whatever intuitively comes. Okay, index fingers are straight up. Okay, lock in. So you're charging into that outlet. Eye gaze, third eye. You can inhale deeply and begin. Sat, Nam, 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 Sat, Nam. Sat 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 Nam. Inhale, please, through the nose. Hold the posture. Squeeze the root lock by pulling in the navel in and up. Eye gaze, third eye. Focus the energy up through the heart, through the throat, through the third eye, through the top of the head, all the way to the finger points. Exhale through the nose. Hold the posture. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale deeply. Squeeze the navel in and up. Draw the energy up the spine, third eye, through the top of the head, through to the fingertips, reaching. Exhale through the nose. Last time, deep inhale. Squeeze the navel energy in and up. Stretch, reach, reach, reach. Exhale. Hold the breath out now, no breath. Hold the posture. Squeeze the navel in and up. Draw the energy. And inhale, release the arms. Bring them gently down. And just release the hands. Just let them rest in Gyan Mudra, palms facing up. The breath be natural, easy, with the energy flow. And gently release the posture, release the legs. Come lying on your back. We're just going to rest for 2 minutes. Very, very important because we need to distribute the energy. So lying on the back in Savasana, deep relax. Important, particularly after this posture of Sat Kriya, to allow the energy to distribute and allow the cells. This is when the cellular energy takes over. So relax the toes, the tops of the feet, the bottoms of the feet, the heels. Feel the energy expanding, flowing. Feel the energy channels through the legs, through the calves, the shins, the knees, the thighs, the back of the thighs. Feel the energy flowing through the hips, the pelvis, the lower back, the tailbone. The energy circulating through the navel, through the rib cage, circulating in the blood, through the heart, the lungs, through the throat, through the neck, through the shoulders, circulating through the upper back, moving along the arms, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, the back of the hands, the palm of the hands, pinkies, ring fingers, middle fingers, index fingers, and thumbs. Feel the energy between the fingers. Feel the energy outside the tips of the fingers, projecting like long strings of energy flowing. Relax the chin, the jaw, the lips. Awareness of the tongue, relax the tongue and the throat, the cheeks. Relax the eyes, the eyelids, the eyeballs. Energy flowing all the way to the brain. Whole body relaxed. All channels open. Energy flowing. Frequencies elevating. All the way to the crown of the head, the pineal gland. Balancing, aligning. And take a nice long deep inhale. And exhale. And you can just bring, if you're lying down, bring your knees to your chest and bring yourself coming up, rolling back and forth along the floor, or rocking yourself side to side, gently being mindful of your energy of your body. This was a beautiful time together. Thank you for coming. Thank you for attending. Thank you for watching the replay. If you're catching the replay, please hit pound replay so I can know who you are. Ask your questions in the comments. If you're viewing this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe so that you can continue to get the public class posts that I make. And you can send me a private message, make the post, ask me any questions about the practice we have today. Really, really important. So this is the end of week 1. We're doing a 40-day challenge all the way just before Christmas. I believe December 15th or 16th is the last day. So it's meant to teach you how to do a daily practice. Here's an insider. Even if you miss a day, it's okay. It's the idea of doing the practice. I myself had to miss a day this last weekend because my body was physically processing something. I had a fever, and that wasn't happening, and it wasn't wise for me to continue the practice. Sometimes it is. Sometimes, depending on what the practice is, depending on where my body is, my body does need to move and sweat. This particular time it didn't, so I didn't do it. And there's nothing to say I didn't meet the 40-day challenge. We are in it. We're learning a practice. We're here together. So please know that. And so if this is day 1 for you, this is day 1. I've done many, many, many 40-day challenges. Sometimes I go beyond the 40 days and I'm not even counting days. We're learning a practice together. So I hope you stay in it with me. So glad to have you here. Sat Nam.